What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie298 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And this is my weekly gaming news series, which I haven't done for about a month. Hey, but better late than never. We got some really interesting stuff to talk about this week, so let's just get right into it. So, first story here, I want to talk a little bit about Rainbow Six Siege, which is run by the folks over there at Ubisoft. They've decided to join some other companies, you know, the folks over at Overwatch, the folks over at Microsoft, who are taking a very hardline stance when it comes to racial slurs, homophobic slurs, stuff like that along those lines in their games. Now, the way this currently works in Rainbow Six Siege, if you type in, certain words, certain slurs into the text chat, there's not really much they're doing about it, I think, for voice chat right now, but if you type one of those things into text chat, you are banned immediately. And it's a very short ban. I think it's for 30 minutes the first time. The second time, it's for longer. The third time, eventually, there's a manual review, and then they determine whether or not they're going to ban your account forever when that happens. So, but right now, as it is, if you just type in, certain words, you're going to get banned immediately, and it's going to keep you from playing the game for about half an hour. So, of course, people have taken to Twitter to complain about this, and a lot of them have, added the official Rainbow Six Siege Twitter account, and they are having none of it. You see people saying, I can't believe I got banned, and the Twitter account was official. Twitter accounts responding with stuff like, good, don't be an asshole. So they definitely picked a side here. They definitely have decided what they want to do, and this is what they want to do. Now, here's the thing. Ubisoft is definitely not alone when it comes to this, because we've seen folks like Microsoft say that very soon they will not tolerate that kind of thing anywhere on any of their services, starting in text, but eventually they want to look at how to get it out of the audio chat as well. And we've got the folks over at Overwatch who've been fighting this fight for a couple of years. So this seems to be the direction that gaming is moving in. Seems to be the direction that games as a service is going to move in. And it looks like, the folks at World of Warcraft have been doing this forever as well. So I'm really curious as to what you think about this. I'd like to know your opinion in the comments section. Personally, it's not going to affect me because I don't use that kind of language when playing video games or when not playing video games. So it's not going to affect me one way or the other. But there are a lot of people who are saying freedom of speech, and you still have freedom of speech. The government is not going to prevent you from doing these types of things. Ubisoft, though, Microsoft, these companies have a choice whether or not they're going to let you do that on their private servers, which they own. And so, you still have the freedom to go create your own competing game and then say whatever nasty stuff you want to say on that game, or find a game that will let you say that stuff if you want. Now, this week's episode is sponsored by the folks over at NordVPN, which is the VPN I've been using for about a year, and it's the only VPN I will use. Now, as you guys know from previous sponsorships, I use NordVPN on my iPad, on my phone, just to protect myself whenever I connect to Wi-Fi publicly. That way my accounts and everything else is secure and safe. I don't want somebody to get my YouTube password. I don't want to get my banking account information. I want to stay safe and secure when I'm connecting to Wi-Fi. But I actually started using NordVPN at home as well, and I do like the extra security, but it's mostly because net neutrality being gone, I don't want my ISP collecting data on what I'm using. I don't want them paying attention to what I'm connecting to, and it doesn't matter if I'm just watching Netflix or watching YouTube or doing my work here for this job or file sharing or whatever it is. I don't want them collecting that data. I don't want them using it against me. I don't want them selling it to the highest bidder. So I'm using NordVPN because when I use it, the only thing they know is I'm connecting to a Nord server, and that Nord server is connecting to me, and that's it. When you go to nordvpn.com/BOOGIE and use coupon code BOOGIE, it comes out to $2.75 a month. That's a 77% discount on the 3-year deal. I highly, highly recommend it. And I do want to make it very clear that while I am sponsored by Nord, I also use the service every single day to keep me safe, to protect me whether I'm sharing files or playing video games or connecting to Wi-Fi. And I recommend them because they have over 4,200 different servers across 62 different countries, and they're the only VPN to get a perfect score by PC Magazine. So you can trust me when I tell you they are the best. So this is my Nintendo Switch, and you guys have noticed quite a bit in the past, whenever I show this off in video, that there are a few cracks around the screws and even some missing plastic and some melting there near the hinges. And I gotta say, I thought this was because I was very, very rough on the system, but it looks like a lot of other people are having that problem with the Nintendo Switch as well. So about a month ago, people started complaining that they were noticing cracks around their Nintendo Switch, and they thought it was just their unit, but once everybody started comparing it, it looks like a large number of units have cracks near the heating area, near the vent systems, near the screws, things along that lines, and it's led a lot of people to believe that it's just a manufacturer's defect. Now, we already know that the Nintendo Switch runs hot. If you've ever played one in handheld mode for a while, or if you've ever picked one up from the dock, you know how hot the unit can get. We do know that heat can warp the system, and a lot of systems will get a curve to them. So if it's got heat issues enough to melt the thing, to warp it a little bit, then it only stands to reason that it can also make it hot enough to melt the plastic. And that seems to be what a lot of people think is happening. And some websites are actually reporting that 1 in 5 Nintendo Switch owners that have been polled say that they have those cracks on their system. So it seems to be a fairly widespread problem. Nintendo doesn't seem to think so yet, though. The only official statement we have is from Nintendo Europe, who said it's not a widespread problem. And since it's not a widespread problem, they're not going to be fixing it on their dime. If you do want to get it fixed, you can get it fixed. Someone on YouTube said it costs as much as $240 to get it fixed, which is almost the price of a brand new Switch. So I don't know why you wouldn't just buy a brand new Switch, because you get the dock and you get the Joy-Cons and everything else with it. But it looks like Nintendo isn't recognizing this as a manufacturer's defect yet. The good news is, if you do have those kinds of cracks or the melting around the heat vents or something along that lines, let me know in the comments section below, because I'd love to hear from you. But you should also let Nintendo know, because the more of us that call in, I've called in to let them know that I have that problem, the more of us that call in, the more likely they are to fix it for free, as they should. One more story about the Nintendo Switch. If you are looking to hack a Nintendo Switch, just know that they're starting to push hack-resistant units out on the shelves. They've shown up in Japan. They do not have the boot ROM problem that the other ones do, so you should probably buy a Nintendo system soon if you want to have one that's eventually exploitable and hackable. And it's better that you don't patch it via software, because it's just going to make it much more complicated to be able to do homebrew and stuff on it. But just want to let you guys know that that's definitely an issue. They've definitely fixed it. They found a way to fix it in the hardware. So if you buy a new system soon, you won't be able to do that. Buy an older system and buy it soon. Now, you may not have heard about this, but here's one more Nintendo story for you. The folks over at Nintendo have basically left Splatoon 2 to be a cheater's paradise. Now, you play that game, you've definitely run into cheaters at some point, and if you've been losing a lot more than you think, it's because a lot of people have hacked their Nintendo Switch and they're using it to cheat, and there's currently no anti-cheat system in place. So one desperate user did their best to try to get Nintendo's attention and point out how badly they needed anti-cheat by messing with the scoreboards. And this is, if you see it here on your screen right now, this is what they did. They made the top 4 slots spell out, "Please add anti-cheat." And of course, Nintendo responded almost exactly the way you think they will. Go ahead and say it out loud with me. They banned this user, and there's still no anti-cheat and no word about whether or not they're going to add anti-cheat to Splatoon 2. So Nintendo is just a company that's not really ready for the online world just yet, I feel like. And this is definitely a perfect example of that. And for the Nintendo fans out there, by the way, you know I love my Switch. You know I love Nintendo. But let's be honest. You guys know you're going to lose your mind if there is not anti-cheat for Smash Brothers Online. People are going to lose their minds if that game turns out to be broken. So they better get this stuff figured out by then. So here's some interesting news about pre-orders coming out of Germany. And you guys know how I feel about pre-orders in general. Digital pre-orders don't make very much sense to me. You should always wait for the reviews. I guess if you need to download it earlier, that makes sense. Physical pre-orders don't make that much more sense to me either. Occasionally, if you're getting a collector's edition, if you're getting a physical item and it's the only way to get it, maybe that's fine. But even for digital in-game goods, unless it's a very significant thing, and it never should be, you shouldn't be pre-ordering digital or physical copies anymore, because there's no scarcity issues to worry about. It's just you kind of just wasting your money for a period of time. I guess it does serve as a bit of a savings club for some people if you have trouble saving money, and that makes sense. But you should always wait for the review before you cash in that pre-order if you have that option, and not everybody lets you have that option when you pre-order games, especially digitally. But there are definitely companies like GameStop who can take advantage of the entire pre-order system. They'll take pre-orders for games that have been announced that don't have release dates or firm release dates, or games that are perpetually delayed. There's that one story running around about a guy who had a Duke Nukem Forever pre-order that was literally forever ago, and then when the game finally did come out, GameStop would not honor it because it was almost 15, 20 years old. So, folks like that have been a real issue, and the folks at Germany have decided that they are done with that, and if a game does not have a firm release date, you cannot sell pre-orders for that game. And I think that's a good precedent. I think that's a good way to go, and I hopefully we'll start seeing that elsewhere. If you don't have a firm release date, you shouldn't be able to collect pre-orders on that game. Now, it does look like the way the law is going to be written, this has got an easy loophole. You can always release the game earlier than expected, but not later than expected. You can change the release date closer, but not further away. So it looks like they'll just be able to put a release date of, say, 2099 as the release date, and then put a much more realistic release date when the time comes to still collect pre-orders. It's still a step in the right direction, though. But that leads me to a question that I want you guys to answer in the comments section. Why, if ever, do you pre-order games? Now, I will definitely pre-order a collector's edition from time to time, knowing that I can physically return that, or that I can probably sell it for more than I paid for it when the game comes out, even if the reviews turn out to be good. Digitally, I will pre-download and pre-order a game 24 hours before it comes out, once I've seen the reviews or once I've talked to somebody who's played it. And very rarely, if I play a game at a show and I know that it's good, or I've got to play the demo and I know that it's going to be good, I will take a chance there. But beyond those circumstances, when do you pre-order a game and why? And that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been a while since we got to do this. It's been a fairly slow summer for news. Not a lot of stuff I would want to talk about anyway with the travel season and now the broken arm. I feel like I've been wanting to skip it more often than not, but I'm looking forward to getting back to it. If you enjoy the series, as always, drop a like, leave a comment. Let me know in the comment section below if you want to see more of this gaming news series. And as always, thanks for my sponsor. If I could check out that link in the description box below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I love you very much. And I'll speak with you again soon. Now I'm going to go heal my arm so I can play some more video games soon, because I really miss playing.